Chapter 1, Intro, We're Having Much More Fun by DeSavia. We never thought we'd be writing a sequel to Under the Big Black Sun. When John and I set out to write our first book, which chronicled the birth of punk rock in Los Angeles, specifically spanning the years 1977 to 1982, we went into it with a purpose. We were intent on making sure that if we were telling the story of the roots of LA punk, it be told by multiple voices of folks who actually lived through it. It was important that it didn't become a tale from just John's perspective, but rather an overview of a time that was noticeably becoming, at best, a victim of revisionist history. Its origin and ensuing years had been thinly documented on any global scale, especially compared to the concurrent New York and UK musical revolutions. When we first pursued a deal to write what would become Under the Big Black Sun, our goal was very simple: pen the history of the West Coast punk rock movement. Once we actually signed a deal to publish the tale, we realized in order to make it cohesive, it would be best to devote the narrative, historically, to those first 5 years. The perfect year to end it seemed to be 1982, just as punk rock was really entering the consciousness of the U.S. mainstream. I wish I could tell you with confidence that we knew what we were doing when we undertook writing Under the Big Black Sun, but blissfully, we didn't. We asked a handful of participants to write chapter-length essays on specific topics, tales that suddenly would, to our surprise and delight, evolve into mini autobiographies that painted the feel of a city, a scene, and its inhabitants. These writers, a select group of varied architects and chroniclers of the punk scene, individually and collectively led us into this fabled underworld, where drugs and sex and violence live side by side with art, camaraderie, desperation, quest for fame, quest for self-destruction, and of course, self-expression. As we collected these chapters, we quickly discovered that, with a little added narration and color commentary, an actual story was forming. Jane Weedland, guitarist and songwriter of the groundbreaking Go-Go's, was the first person to submit her chapter for what would become the inaugural volume. Jane's chapter, The Canterbury Tales, is an unflinching, unapologetic, honest, funny, and sometimes brutal account of living in Los Angeles during the evolution of punk culture. It made both John and me take pause and realize that we might actually be able to tell this story as it should be told.